I'm very pleased to welcome our Grasso President and CEO of MITRE and David Neumer from MITRE's Center for Veterans Enterprise Transformation to share an example of the types of programs NVTC member companies utilize to recruit, train, and mentor veterans within their workforce.
Thank you, Sudhakar. Let me first take the opportunity to really recognize the support of our leadership here in the state of Virginia. Governor McDonald, Senator Warner, their passion and enthusiasm for veterans is truly unprecedented. Let me also pile on and thank Bobby, the NVTC community, all of the organizations and all of the individuals for the planning and the execution of this incredibly important initiative. Now I'm here to speak to you as an employer of veterans. Today, MITRE employs 1,800 veterans. That accounts for about 25% of our workforce. In fiscal year 2013, about 20% of all of our hires are veterans to date. So that continues. We're also proud to serve the Department of Veterans Affairs in a support capacity. The people of the department are truly committed to supporting the veterans in all of their needs. They have a set of enterprise initiatives that are aimed at unprecedented goals to reduce and eliminate homelessness amongst veterans. And we're proud to serve in those initiatives. But what becomes very, very clear, it's very difficult for any one organization to stand up to such goals. It truly takes a community to do this, and I believe the community that has assembled itself for this Veterans Employment Initiative is an important element in reducing veterans' homelessness as well. What I'd like to do is introduce a program that we started now several years ago in December of 2007, which is called the Veterans Employment Training Initiative within MITRE, which was specifically designed to help severely wounded service members re-enter into a career field. Now, it provides an outcome-focused mission over the course of an entire year. What you heard a little earlier from Steve is the importance of being able to translate capabilities and experience from the military world into the civilian world. That's a key element of this, as well as mentorship with regard to developing those capabilities and added capabilities. What's also very important that we learned is flexibility. What's very, very clear is some of these capabilities translate directly, but there's a lot of discovery that's required here. And providing an opportunity for the veterans to explore perhaps different career paths and the needed flexibility to do that is important. Not to mention the flexibility needed to continue physical therapy during this transition period. So that becomes an important element, and that's why the length of this program is also important. As I said, it is a one-year program. The end goal is really to move the veteran into a fuller part-time job, but perhaps more than that, really to create a career opportunity for the veteran. Not simply a job, but something that the veteran values highly, the employer values highly, and something that has true longevity associated with it. We're evolving this into establishing a formal hiring, training, and mentoring program, and we've learned a lot from this. So we're also establishing a template which we hope to publish and allow other organizations to utilize so that they can be so successful. Now, aside from these enterprise-type initiatives which we're pursuing, what I'll tell you is, I stand by as a cheerleader as well. When it comes to veterans, it's very easy to get our workforce not to tell them what to do, but to have them tell me what to do. So I act very much as a cheerleader. I want to give you a couple examples. In 2004, Dr. Bob Shepard and Jeannie Lahowitz, Director of Programs for Severely Wounded Veterans at Walter Reed, launched a program. They recognized that there was a need as veterans transitioned from the military into civilian service that they just couldn't go into an interview with their BDUs. So they created a program, Suits for Vets, where they sought charitable contributions to be able to allow veterans to, acquire, the attire to be successful in those interviews. What I will tell you is that program launched in 2004. It continues today. There have been more than $82,000 in donations to outfit several hundred veterans as they transition. Truly a volunteer, effort among several enthusiastic individuals. Also, care packages for troops was launched in 2008, where goods are donated and sent abroad, collected and packed into boxes and sent to the deployed troops. In 2012 alone, there were over 265 boxes. I know every one of the organizations that are represented here in NVTC have such devoted and committed employees that are creating these kinds of bottoms-up opportunities to serve our vets. Last, I had a personal opportunity to move from cheerleader to actually on the field. About 2 years ago, I played second base in an FCA organized softball game against the amputee softball team. And what I will tell you is I was truly humbled, and now I am going through physical therapy for the next couple of years. But I will tell you, you saw the resumes on Monster.com. There are some common attributes amongst these veterans that you will see, I think, on all of these resumes. Leadership. Every one of the veterans that I've worked with, and I've had the pleasure to work with many, have demonstrated leadership in so many different capacities. A commitment to duty. Tremendous commitment and passion, and a focus on the mission. The ability to get things done. That's perhaps the most important attribute that I see with our veterans today. They will do what it takes, whether it means increasing their learning capacity, whether it means delivering their experience in a number of different ways. They will do what it takes to make it happen. That is what you could find on every one of these resumes that you find from our veterans today. And with that, what I'd like to do is offer a resume. I have with me here David Neumer. David left service about 1.5 years ago now. He left the Army as a Sergeant Major. He is a retired U.S. Army National Guard, an Afghanistan veteran, served 21 years in service. He is the recipient of the Purple Heart, the Legion of Merit, the Bronze Star, and the French Cross of Valor. David is truly a remarkable individual, and as I could speak, for quite a bit on the different initiatives we have today, I thought it would be important for you to hear directly from someone who has transitioned from 2.5 years of rehabilitation in Walter Reed to becoming a very successfully employed employee at the MITRE Corporation. David.
Thanks, everybody. As a veteran, I'd like to thank you for all your support. It's my privilege to be here and share my experience with MITRE's Veterans Employment Transition Program. I was basically approached while I was outpatient at Walter Reed. Jeannie Howitz identified me as a potential candidate for MITRE's training program. And she said, well, was I interested? And I said, well, sure, but I've never really heard of MITRE. So she's like, well, they're a big corporation, and look them up, and you can, learn about them and let me know. So I did the searching, and I looked into what MITRE was doing, and it was like, wow, this is a really big organization, and they've got thousands of employees, and most of them are master's degrees or PhDs. So what am I going to do with my high school education and my 21 years of Army training going to do for them? So I was concerned, and I went to Jeannie. I said, listen, I don't know that I'd fit there. They're way above my pay grade. And she's like, don't worry about it. Do you want to do it? I said, okay. All right, so she introduced me to another MITRE employee named Theda Parrish. And she put together a team of military veterans that worked for MITRE, and they were going to help me write my resume, which at that time, I mean, it's great to see that everybody's starting to see that that's the biggest hurdle for veterans, is to convert military skills into civilian equivalent. Especially, I mean, it's not so bad like, oh, I'm a medic. That's easy. I'm an IT guy. That's easy. It's the combat MOSs that really struggle with, all right, turn this into something civilian. So we sat down, and the MITRE volunteers that helped me write the resume did an outstanding job. And as a veteran, speaking for myself, I have and I think most veterans are probably like that, we have a way of understating what we do. And so I confounded them completely, like, no, you know, what'd you do? I did this. No. So they pounded it on me, finally drug it, pulled it out of me, saying, all right, this is all you can do in civilian world. I'm like, oh, wow, I never realized. You know, I just was doing my job. So we crossed that big hurdle and got the resume in and submitted it to MITRE. And again, human resources went through it, and they picked me up. And they assigned me to a department that is heavily involved with the Veterans Affairs, which, as a veteran, I have a vested interest in making sure they run good. So from there, I did a 3-month internship. Unfortunately, because of my responsibilities at home in Tennessee, I couldn't do the full thing and stay here. So I did a 3-month internship with them and was ready to, you know, we were ready to leave. And they, at the end, they said, well, we can offer you, because of MITRE's flexibility and the way they work, we can offer you part-time, on-call, remote work. Would you be interested? I'm like, of course. It's a great opportunity. And so I've been with them ever since, doing that from my home in Tennessee. It's a great program. Again, one of the biggest hurdle is to actually get the veterans to understand their capabilities in the civilian sense. And again, I'm very glad to see that many people were talking about that today as a hurdle and as something that needs to be addressed. So again, thank you very much for listening, and bye.
I think that is an extraordinary fitting way to conclude. I want to invite everyone to learn about the initiative at www.nvtc.org/veterans, and the veterans community to begin using the online resource and job board at nvtc.monster.com. Representatives of our task force will be in the lobby to answer any questions, and we have a demo of the website out there as well. And is Katie here? Okay, Katie. Everybody has done, and I don't want to embarrass Katie, but let me tell you, everyone has done just a fabulous job of working as hard as they possibly could. Some of you may have noticed, and this is not meant to be a sexist comment, Katie is 9 months pregnant. As a matter of fact, her due date is August 27th. That is in 7 days. We've had an office pool about whether Katie would make it today, and she was heck-bent and determined. She told Shaughnessy, her husband, who's also here, that this child was not coming out before today. So any of you want to give her suggestions for names, she would be delighted to take it, and she is now officially concluded this program today. She'll be on maternity leave and be back to help and work with all of you. So thank you to everyone for what you've done, and we are very, very excited. Thank you, and God bless you.